Welcome to No Apologies on Beck, where we continue to be unafraid to speak the truth. I am your host, Rick Becker, our co-host, Lori Hintz.
Good to be back again.
Yes, likewise.
Yeah, indeed. So,
oh, wait, I still have the same desk.
I was just going to say,
the double hockey
I was
sticks
ready
is going
for the
on?
new desk. You're right, I have named it, by the way. I don't know if you know this, but I've named your new desk already.
Yes?
It's the Bourbon Bureau.
The Bourbon Bureau.
You're welcome.
I like it. So, Mr. Producer, this is what they do on TV. They go like this to let the audience know you're talking to the producer. Where the heck is my new desk? It's on the way. I've been hearing that for a couple weeks now. All right, ladies and gentlemen.
Okay.
Tonight we're going to be talking about some different bills that are particularly interesting. We have a guest coming up. Representative Tom Kading is going to be talking about no less than 3 of his bills.
I'm so excited about that.
Yes, and I've got a couple of mine we're going to talk about, and then we've got brain food. So we're going to be hitting it.
Action-packed.
Yes, absolutely. So the first one.
Okay.
House Concurrent Resolution 3007. So a resolution, there are bills and there are resolutions. And a resolution it's something that does not actually become a law, but it has an effect. So this resolution is designed to end the state of emergency that the governor has declared. And with it, all of his executive orders specifically about the state of emergency. So here it says very simply that the state of emergency in North Dakota declared by Governor Burgum on March 13th, which, by the way, again, over 10 months ago, in response to the public health crisis resulting from COVID-19 is terminated.
Done.
Now,
immediately as soon as that passes?
Yes. So the way it works is that the House only needs to pass it by a simple majority.
Ooh.
We don't need to have the 2/3 because there's no option for the governor to veto it.
Right.
Can't veto it.
Right.
So it passes the House by a simple majority. If it passes the House, then the Senate has the option to take it up right away.
Oh, they don't have to wait for crossover
They
or
don't
anything
have to.
like
Now,
that. Oh.
they may choose to.
Opt
There's
to?
a lot of politics that goes on. There's a lot of whether you want to try and play nice and play to the governor's desires. But they have the option to take it up right away. And if they do, and then if they pass it, just like that, the state of emergency is over.
And ends.
So there is a lot of interest in this resolution from people. We're hearing about that all the time. It was heard in committee today. What happens, just again as a reminder, all these bills and resolutions are heard in a committee. There are various committees. This one was heard in Human Services on the House side. The committee then hears all of the testimony. They may choose to put amendments on it. They may talk amongst themselves and have discussions, and then they give a recommendation.
A do pass or a do not pass.
Exactly. A do or do not pass recommendation from the committee then goes to the House, and then the House votes on it. So the committee's recommendation carries a lot of weight, but it's not the end-all, be-all.
Right.
There are occasions where the overall chamber, the House, goes against the committee's recommendation. So it was heard in committee today, and I think you never say what it's going to be for sure because you just don't know.
Right.
I think that there is a lot of interest amongst committee members to go ahead and terminate this state of emergency. So it won't surprise me at all if this comes out with a do pass recommendation.
What's the time frame? Are we looking at a couple of days maybe? They'll deliberate for a while, or is it unknown?
It's unknown.
Okay.
Again, if they have the desire, they can vote on it today. They could have voted on it today. They can vote on it tomorrow. They can kick it out, and leadership has the option to say, okay, we're going to get this right on the calendar. We're going to vote on it. Let the legislature as a whole have a say, and then pass it on to the Senate if it passes. Or they can
Go ahead.
sort of play games with it and hold on to it.
Was there some testimony today by people about it, or?
Yes. So the testimony today, there were, I presented it as the prime sponsor, and I gave my testimony in favor of ending it. And then I believe 2 other representatives testified in favor of ending it. And then there were several very passionate pleas from regular citizens of North Dakota in favor of it. Then there was a lot of testimony opposing it. Interestingly, not a single citizen testified against it.
Wait a minute. No actual regular people did?
No regular people testified against it.
Only special interests?
Well, yeah, I mean, if we consider government a special interest,
Yes,
which it
it
is.
is.
So what you had was the governor's office testify against it. And this is not a completely full list of who I may be missing some people.
Right.
The mayor of Minot testified against it, and the mayor of Williston testified against it. So
Really?
folks from Minot and Williston, your mayors do not want the state of emergency to end,
That's
which
good
is
for
fine.
you to know. That's their prerogative, but that's good for you to know now, isn't it?
That's
Wow.
their opinion,
Yeah.
but of course,
Wow, how interesting.
that's what we base our decisions at the ballot box.
That's what that's for.
So those mayors are opposed to it. Interestingly, they don't have a lot to stand on. The mayor from Minot specifically was saying he was worried about funding. However, we had an abundance of testimony that funding's not actually going to be impacted. The mayor from Minot was saying, well, we're getting funding this way or that way, and it made it seem like, well, we're going to lose that. But then when pushed, well, okay, we won't lose it, but there'll be more paperwork. So we should
awesome.
retain the state of emergency in which the governor has exceptional powers so that there isn't more paperwork. The mayor from Williston, I think really the bottom line there is he said it sends a wrong message. And in fact, I could be wrong, but Dorman, who runs emergency services, great gentleman. This is a bit frustrating in my mind because he's a highly respected person.
I think he's adjutant general.
Yeah, adjutant general, okay. And a highly respected person, does a great job. But the thing is, he's essentially in a position where he must carry water for the governor. Right. So he's this highly respected person giving an opinion, but it's not necessarily his opinion, his personal opinion. Right. That's not his job. His job is to carry forth the wishes of the governor, and that's what he's doing. But anyway, Adjutant General Dorman's thoughts were similar, not limited to, but similar to the mayor of Williston, which is, it doesn't send a right message. Well, we don't have states of emergency because of a message we want to send.
Right, oh, that's interesting.
And
that's interesting
a lot of the discussion, a lot of the concern prior to the testimony today was twofold. Number one, would it affect the remote or distance learning kids because an executive order allows them? And so the thought was that, well, you could no longer be a remote or distance learner. However, that's not true.
Couldn't the individual school districts choose?
Well, they should be able to, and there isn't anything in law that prohibits that. It's just that the executive order made it clear that you can do that. Well, you could anyway because nothing prohibited you.
Right.
So that's not a factor. The other thing was about the money because the governor himself had said this will, he didn't say will. This is the thing that politicians do. And that is, if they want something to die, what they will do is say, this could affect funding. It's possible we would lose funding, and it's possible we'll lose accreditation. And so that it's like, oh, put these out and make people worried about it enough to vote no. But they don't actually do their homework to say, here is exactly why we will lose funding. They don't want to do that because they want it just to be sort of this cloud of doubt and concern.
What you just learned is the trick of politicians. What you've learned now is what they say. If you hear the word might, or may, or it could, put your red flags up.
Yes, but I conferred with the lawyers with legislative counsel, and that will not happen. And that was made abundantly clear in testimony today. There will be no loss of federal funding if we don't have a state of emergency going on. So that took the wind out of their sails. And in fact, they essentially testified, yes, it's true, we're not going to lose funding. So really, really interesting. What it comes down to.
So can you go to the website and look at that?
Yes.
Can you just go and watch the video? Okay.
Okay. So, you know what? Let's hit this a little bit more tomorrow because I think we can get some video clips of the testimony because it's really interesting to juxtapose what the governor had said a week ago versus what was said in testimony today. The producer tells me that we have pictures of my new desk coming up, and I have to say that's really. Oh, come on!
All right, that's funny. You got to admit that's pretty funny. Okay, here's the actual desk. They say. We're hoping.
If you guys put as much time into getting my new desk for me instead of jacking around, I'd have a new desk.
We got you really good, though. You got to admit, it's about time somebody got you instead of me.
Okay.
So I'm happy now.
So we're going to talk about this more.
Yeah, we'll talk about it again. And we're talking next. The topic is salary moratorium.
Yes, I've got a bill. It's gonna drive people nuts, but you are going to love it as much as I do. We'll be right back.
Capital City Restaurant Supply is your one-stop shop for quality restaurant products for the large to small kitchens. Commercial-grade restaurant and bar supplies, limb game processing equipment, refrigeration, dinnerware, and smallware. We sell everything including the kitchen sink from trusted manufacturers for the chef and all of us. Open to the public since 1971, we are veteran-owned and North Dakota proud. Let us take care of your restaurant and home kitchen needs today by visiting us at 1414 Interstate Loop in Bismarck or on the web at capitalcityrestaurantsupply.com.
Hi, I'm Dennis Haugen, along with my sons Andy and Mike, and we're showing our support for wind energy in North Dakota.
Wind energy has provided farmers like us with a steady stream of income that's not tied to the weather like crops and cattle are.
Another bonus is that wind farm owners are required to maintain the roads leading up to the turbines. Because of that, oftentimes these roads are the best in the county. Wind energy is good for landowners, it's good for the land, it's good for our economy, and it's good for North Dakota.
Are you a thrill seeker, sightseer, or day tripper? The Ford Bronco Sport SUV is built for you. Four Bears Casino is giving away a 2021 Ford Bronco Sport loaded with a ton of interior space, safari-style roof, smooth suspension for any terrain, and easy-to-clean surfaces. Qualify now just by playing your favorite slots at Four Bears Casino. Double points on Sundays. Also get in on Super Senior Wednesdays, slot turning Thursdays, and hot seats on Wednesdays and Thursdays. Spin into Four Bears Casino and Lodge for chances to win.
Some things in life are hard. That's why banking shouldn't be. Cornerstone Bank.
Heroes and Icons is now Cozy TV. Don't worry, you'll still get your favorite Beck News programming without changing the channel. Real people, real news, Beck News.
Welcome back to No Apologies on Beck. That was a fun segment, a little tomfoolery by the producers, I would say at my expense, which I'm sure you took particular
I actually enjoyed that, not gonna lie.
Yeah. Okay, next topic is another bill, another bill, and it is HB 1260, 1260. So for those of you at home kind of looking at things and you saw last night a replay of the how to navigate the legislative website. If you look up 1260, I call it the salary moratorium bill. So moratorium means that you stop something. There is a stop, and a moratorium would indicate that it is temporary. In this particular case, you guys are going to like this. What it comes down to is if a governor, or there's another paragraph, a mayor, for example, if they declare an executive order or mandate which causes a business to have to close early or have
lose revenue in some way?
Yes, have capacity reductions or just close like so many businesses did for 6 weeks in March and April. What happens in that circumstance is from that very moment, the governor or the mayor in that circumstance no longer gets a salary. Every statewide elected official no longer gets a salary. No state legislator gets a salary. And nobody that works for the state that makes over $125,000 gets a salary. Okay. And the idea there is that it's very easy when you're in an elected position to say, you know what, this is what's best for the state.
Because it doesn't affect me.
It doesn't affect them.
It never affects me.
No hair off their back whatsoever. Governor Burgum kept talking, still does, about lives and livelihoods while he was wrecking people's livelihoods. And so what this does is say, you know what, this is going to put a little skin in the game for you, sir. If you decide to close down business or interrupt business or cause people to lose their incomes, cause employees of these businesses to lose their income, you are also going to lose income. Not only that, but in particular for our current situation where maybe the governor's salary isn't necessarily important, all of your power players, all of the cronies, they also lose their salary. So it's going to make it very, very hard to do something where you harm the people of North Dakota like you did, like you have been, without harming your friends in government. And I think this is going to make it so it's much harder to do that. And when it comes to a city or county action, if a mayor, for instance, imposes the same thing, all the elected officials of that subdivision, meaning the city or county, also lose their salary.
What's the feeling? What's the
don't,
buzz? Is
well,
there any buzz on this
All I know
one?
is a little bit of buzz that came up in some of the blogs and what have you. And yeah, they're saying that this is nothing more than a political stunt. I don't think. I mean,
all right, just folks, he does not think what he's doing is a stunt. He does not. He purposely does this for a reason. It's not a stunt. Am I right?
Absolutely. Well, there's two reasons. One is, I don't think this is unreasonable. If you want to close down people's businesses and their livelihoods, then you should feel the pain as much as they are. The second thing is that even if it doesn't pass, now people might say, well, that's the stunt part of it. It's not a stunt. It puts the legislators into a position where they can be held accountable. Are they in favor of allowing elected officials to shut down businesses randomly? By the way, the governor does not actually have the power. We've covered that with the attorney David Chapman, but nevertheless he did it because no one came up against him. Are you okay with that? Or are you going to side with the people of North Dakota, where an elected official, a single person, should not have the power to completely wipe out your income if you are a cosmetologist, or if you're a salon owner, or if you're a food server, or if you're a bartender?
Agreed.
If you're a massage therapist. I mean, we go on and on and on, the people that have been affected. So whose side are you on, Mr. Legislator, Mrs. Legislator? Are you with the people, or are you with the elected cronies? So it puts them on record.
A little skin in the game.
Absolutely.
So
that's not a stunt at all. This is an important bill twofold.
So do you have a hearing tomorrow? Is that correct?
Yeah, I think I do. Okay. Is that what I wrote?
Yeah,
I must. I have a hearing one or two every day this week. So yes, I do. And we are going to tell you all about it tomorrow night, and we'll see what happens. This one may have
some pushback,
more opposition than the resolution to end the state of emergency did. I think that there may be some sentiment that why pull in these other people because they have no choice.
Welcome to the whole idea of the bill.
Exactly. Yes, they don't have choice, but they have an influence on the people who do have a choice. And I ask you, how much choice did the servers who had no job for 6 weeks and then who had a fraction of a job for many months after that, what choice did they have? They had zero. So I have no concern at all that the people listed in this bill don't have a choice. They have a choice to reach out to the governor and say, for God's sake, do not do this again because I don't want to lose my salary. And people will say, well, it doesn't make sense. Can you imagine if they lose their salary for that duration, they're going to quit and we won't have people to replace them. Yes. So then don't do it so people don't quit.
Not only that, but if you're having a hearing tomorrow, how about servers who are affected and lost their jobs, hairstylists who lost all of their income during that time? Wouldn't they be really good to give testimony?
Absolutely.
At that hearing? I think that would be fantastic.
Yes. So many people have been affected. And even if you're not the server, your friend or your family member has been a server. And it's movie theaters, it's massage, therapists, and there's so many that have been affected.
Sure.
I would say yes, this is one, if you feel passionate about it, like I do, you should contact your legislators in your district. You should also contact the legislators in general and let them know how you feel about it. We'll see where this goes. I don't know. A lot of people think it's got no chance at all. I think it does.
At very least, you're going to have discussion about it, and that's the important part, so that people actually understand what happened, why you lost that income, what you can do about it.
Yes, absolutely. The last thing about this one is that I want to be clear. There are circumstances where a government action would require a business to be closed. For instance, if they violate health, if they're putting out food that's rotten or whatever, they're violating safety codes. If a sidewalk or road or something like that must be constructed and there's no egress, ingress, what have you.
Is that included in the bill?
It's included in the bill. So there's I'm not trying to be crazy, despite what people will say. I just think it's so damn easy to do things that adversely affect people when you're not adversely affected. It's time for that crap to end. That's the end of it. That is the end of it.
When we come back, I'm so excited. We're going to have District 45 Representative Tom Kading on with us to talk about his bills when we come back.
Jeez, what a mess. Look at that. There's roof stuff everywhere. It's so embarrassing. Ruins the neighborhood. Come on, humans. Let's get this fixed.
Don't let your roof go to the dogs. Call America's Best Contractors for your free estimate.
Need a new woof?
After checking with the rest, go with the best. America's Best Contractors. 258-2412. Online at americasbestcontractorsincorporated.com.
In southwestern and south central North Dakota, on any given day at any given moment, a Dakota Community Bank and Trust customer is logging in or signing on to do their online or mobile banking. We believe that community banking can blend both the past with down-home customer service in-house and the future with modern banking conveniences and technology for our customers anywhere, like here or here, all while honoring our long-standing tradition of community-first oriented banking here at Dakota Community Bank and Trust.
My wife was diagnosed with early stage Alzheimer's. We talked about it and we kind of decided we'd be a little bit proactive and try to start making provisions. So we started looking here, and Eventide worked out to be pretty much the perfect answer. I guess I didn't expect it to be so nice. The staff here are terrific. We enjoy it.
Beck News brings you real people and real news. Every weekday on KNDB, KNDM, and KRDK. Start your evening with the Dr. Duke Show at 4. Take a fresh look at current events with Ladies of Another View at 4:30. Go down the road with Joel at 5:30. Watch No Apologies with Becker at 9. Cap off your night with No Filter with Debbie at 10. Beck News. Real people, real news.
The professionals at Superior Glass provide residential and commercial glass installation and repair services in central and western North Dakota. Superior Glass is your source for stained glass projects, mirrors, windows, touchless, and automated entry solutions. Stop by and see us at 3323 East Broadway in Bismarck or call us at 701-258-5600. Superior Glass, where you get superior service for less. Bye for now.
Welcome back to No Apologies on Beck, your after hours oasis of sanity. I am your host, Rick Becker, co-host Lori Hintz, and our esteemed and highly ubiquitously present in mass media across the nation, like Representative Tom Kading.
He was everywhere on the news this week, all over the. How was that for you? Was that pretty fun?
It was fun. Well, thank you for having me here today. Appreciate it.
Yeah, we're excited.
I get called a media whore. I think I need to take lessons from you.
It's been a fun week.
Can you name some of the places that you were on?
So I was on Fox and Friends on Saturday.
Right.
And that was fun. And then yesterday, I guess, on Monday, I was on the Varney show.
Yep.
Stuart Varney, so that was fun. I've got a couple more media requests coming up, and we'll see where they go. A couple radio stations and media stations out in California actually would like me to come on.
Well,
So
I don't know. They're probably just having Bill Envy, I'm guessing.
I'm guessing. It's been interesting though. So this last 10 days or so, I've gotten tons of emails from legislators all over the country saying, hey, we're interested in this. Can we have a copy of the bill? Can we get some input on how we can make this thing happen?
Fantastic. That's exciting.
Yeah, that's wonderful. Yeah, you're doing good work when that happens. So your appearances on national television were regarding which bill or bills?
So my appearance on national television was regarding my HB 1144, and that's the bill regarding to censorship of different people in North Dakota.
Okay. All right, so 1144, yes, indeed. So we're going to talk about 3 of your bills. So the one that's the hot topic nationally, we're going to get to second.
Okay.
First, I'd like to talk about House Bill 1138. So we've got 3 bills, folks, that Tom's put forward. He's put a lot of, and you have, Tom. Tom has been a consistent defender of liberty since he got in. Did you get in 15, was it?
Yeah, 2015, my first session.
Yep, I remember well, and I was really happy that you were in. So 1138, it's a cause of action against a state or political subdivision for state constitutional violations, and specifically a violation of Section 4 of Article 1 of the Constitution of the state. So can you give a little background on this one?
So what this bill is really trying to do is create that, you said it, a cause of action. And what a cause of action is the right to sue based on a certain principle. So in this case, we're saying you have the right to sue if a government force violates that section of the Constitution. And what that section of the Constitution is, it's the free speech of the North Dakota Constitution.
Let's bring that up, guys.
So how the law is today is, any government in North Dakota, whether it's a municipality or the state government, they can violate this clause of the Constitution and have zero recourse. There's no recourse for it. So all this bill really does is create the ability for a private individual to say, hey, such and such government, you have violated my free speech under the North Dakota Constitution. So under federal law, of course, you have the First Amendment, and that protects your right to free speech. There are some limitations to that, such as you're not able to get certain types of damages. And in my bill, I increase the types of damages. That's probably the biggest difference between the First Amendment and what I do in my bill.
Excellent.
Yeah, I see that. It's, well, first off, there's treble, which means triple, right?
Yep.
Why the heck do they say treble?
I saw that treble too. I saw that in there. Like,
is that a
legalese term?
It is, but I have no idea where it comes from.
Quadruple means 4 times, I don't know. So, but there's triple damages for compensatory, consequential, and incidental damages, and then there's also punitive, which for a guy that doesn't know a lot about law, punitive is the big one, right? That opens the door for a lot, it seems to me.
Absolutely, and is committee going to amend it down to just compensatory? I don't know, maybe. But I wanted it to be very painful if you're a government entity and you violate someone's free speech rights. They should have to pay for that.
Agreed.
That is absolutely wrong. The freedom of speech in this country is one of the most fundamental principles we rely on. So I threw the kitchen sink at them. The First Amendment section, so to enforce the First Amendment, you sue under what's called Section 1983. And under that, if you sue, let's say a university violates your First Amendment rights and you sue them under 1983, you can sue for basically compensatory damages. And all that really means is damages that have occurred because of it. So it's very limited in terms of what damages you can get under the First Amendment. So I wanted to leave it wide open and make sure in North Dakota we make a strong statement to say, hey, we believe in the freedom of speech.
Right.
Yep, that's fantastic. I'm
What's number one?
very happy you asked me to be on that. And I agree.
And especially, as you mentioned, on college campuses, because that's exactly where it's squelched.
Oh, yes. Absolutely.
Constantly.
And there's this huge movement out there. You know, freedom of speech is being chipped away at all the time, and cancel culture is going strong right now.
Yep.
And I think we need to
Nip it in
do
the bud.
everything we can.
Yeah, I like that.
Yep. The freedom of speech, I find, and I did a extensive national survey for a little project I was on. It's alarming at how readily a big segment of the population, both left and right, are willing to sacrifice First Amendment for things that they would consider hate speech or offensive speech or speech that hurts another's feelings and bullying. I mean, all of these things, I think what it comes down to is really the education system, not having people understand the importance of free speech. And the only important speech that needs to be protected is the speech that you find offensive. Nobody needs to protect speech that we all agree is okay. That's just ridiculous. Let's go.
You're right.
Go ahead, Tom.
Popular speech is popular for a reason.
Yes.
You don't need to protect popular speech.
Exactly right.
That's a great point.
Let's go to your next awesome
This is the biggie.
bill.
This is the one that you were doing all the TV on. This is 1144.
Yes,
Yep.
1144.
So tell us about your bill.
So House Bill 1144, you know, I started drafting this back in December. You know, I was seeing this increasing amount of censorship in social media. And, you know, again, freedom of speech, that's one of our fundamental principles. So I was seeing more censorship and, you know, obviously since December when I started drafting this thing, it's only gotten
far worse.
Much worse.
Right.
Oh boy.
And, you know, I think we're at a point where people are beginning to feel a little bit afraid about things, and people are just shocked, and I'm frankly shocked too, just at the level of attack on freedom of speech and the level of censorship that's going on.
I don't know about you, but I know people who are looking forward to getting banned. Actually, they're like, oh, this is going to get me banned. Oh, this is going to get this is going to get me banned. This is going to get me in jail.
Yeah.
So, yep. Okay, you can see on here, the interactive computer service provider is liable in a civil action for damages to the person whose speech is restricted, censored, or suppressed.
And you know, really the philosophy behind what I'm trying to do here is, you know, if a social media comes out and selectively publishes true information or suppresses exculpatory information, or number two, you know, manipulates true information to create a certain narrative, this in effect can be tortious or defamation. And that's what I think we really need to protect against. And kind of that scenario I referenced, that's actually a Rhode Island Supreme Court case. It's not North Dakota, but I think that law is very relevant to what's going on. And it was actually a case back from, I believe, 1938. And it was based on newspapers. But I think that same idea is very important to uphold.
Tom, we're trying to always make sure that we are using vocabulary our viewers understand, and I don't know what tortious means.
Or exculpatory.
Tortious is just basically a tort.
Like tort reform.
Yep.
I've heard of tort reform,
So
which
you
is...
can
Go third grade for me.
Sue
real
for
quick.
negligence.
Okay.
Negligence is a tort.
Okay.
Essentially.
Awesome.
Or
Awesome.
you assault someone, you punch someone in the face, that's a tort.
Okay.
That's a tort.
It's a civil tort.
Okay. Well, yeah. All right. Very good. I want to come back, and I want to continue with this bill. There's something, I don't know if you recall, or you asked me about how I would feel about such a bill as this. So we're going to come back and talk about this bill a little bit more with Tom, and we're going to move on to bill number 3 from Representative Kading. Hang with us.
Howdy folks, it's the County Cafe. I reckon it's time you're due for a hearty meal. So saddle up for the day with one of our Hey Bossin breakfast homemade soups. Fill your grill at our salad bar, sink your teeth into our famous County Line burger and barbecue ribs. Top it off with spur rattling pie with a calm roll that's sure to put a smile on even the toughest outlaws. Shake the dirt off the boots each night and warm up with the gang. Tell them about it, Stacy.
I can't wait to see you at the county line.
Since opening in Hebron in 1940, Dakota Community Bank and Trust has been your hometown bank. Our mission has been to provide modern banking convenience with old-fashioned hometown service. We've grown with the communities we serve. through year-round events, countless sponsorships, and nearly 7,000 hours of volunteering each year. Learn more about our 80-year history at dakotacommunitybank.com.
Jeez, what a mess. Look at that. There's roof stuff everywhere. It's so embarrassing. Ruins the neighborhood. Come on, humans. Let's get this fixed.
Don't let your roof go to the dogs. Call America's Best Contractors for your free estimate.
Need a new woof?
After checking with the rest, go with the best. America's Best Contractors. 258-2412. Online at americasbestcontractorsincorporated.com.
For the greatest selection and full menu offering, it's the Four Seasons Restaurant and Ice Cream Parlor in Garrison. Succulent sandwiches, big breakfasts served all day, and delicious desserts. Easy access in and out for campers and RVs. The Four Seasons Restaurant at the top of Main Street, Garrison.
Some things in life are hard. That's why banking shouldn't be. Cornerstone Bank.
Welcome back to No Apologies on Beck. We are still with Representative Tom Kading. Very happy to have you on, Tom, and we're continuing on. We've got 3 bills that we're talking about. We are in the middle of, perhaps toward the end of a discussion on House Bill 1144, which allows for civil action against social media sites. Now, I want to start this segment as we finish this bill up. Lori had asked me a couple days back, sometime last week, if I would be in favor or opposed to such a bill. And I had said, well, and I did give a qualification. I had said that I would be opposed because when you sign up and if you sign, yep, I agree, you can shut me down, whatever, then that's the way it is. It's the free market. However, the qualifier I gave was depending on the context of Section 230 liability protections. I said that's what it's all about. And so I had not read your bill at the time, and I thought, well, this might be one that I'm going to be, you and I are going to be at odds on, which rarely occurs. However, part of the guts of your bill is this 230. Would you agree with that?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So explain Section 230.
Yes. Do you want to go ahead?
Absolutely. So Section 230, it has a number of things in it, but Section 230 in effect provides 2 liability protections for social media companies, along with a number of other companies. So
nationally.
National. And this is federal law. So in North Dakota, we can't change federal law. I had a number of people reach out and say, why don't you just amend Section 230?
Because it's not our law.
We can't amend Section 230. But what effectively it does, it provides immunity in 2 pieces. One, it says you're not a publisher, so therefore you're not held to the standard as if you publish that content. And 2, if you censor based on 7 different categories, you're not held liable for it. So what my bill does is try to thread that needle a little bit and say, these companies can take action that is defamation of someone, and they should be held to some level of accountability. So what the bill does, it does 2 things. So if the social media company censors outside the scope of their terms of service, which is a contract between the user and the company
provider
itself, and outside the scope of Section 230, then they are liable for whatever that may be. And so I really try to base it on free market principles, but establish some guidelines. I had to take an interesting route just getting around Section 230. Yeah. Section 230 actually allows for states to regulate in excess of 230, but it just can't contradict 230.
Right.
And one of the other things Section 230 does is, or doesn't do, I should say, is it doesn't say states shouldn't set guidelines on how contracts are negotiated. It doesn't say set guidelines on things like defamation, other torts, things like breach of contract, and what's that look like in the terms of social media. Social media has grown like crazy in the last 5-10 years. And there are some challenges as to how do we interpret law in this particular factual situation.
Yeah, I think I love it.
Changed your mind, didn't he?
Well, completely. It has in there my areas of concern, because Tom has always been a free market person, as have I. And if you want the free market to work, you also cannot at the same time have special government protections.
Right.
And so if we remove those, then we leave the free market. You want the protections, then you're up for civil liability. So. Yeah, that's fantastic. Let's go.
Well done, well crafted.
Yes.
It sounds like it was very well done too. And no wonder other states around the country are interested in it.
Well, hopefully you get somewhere. I know social media attorneys will be here in force tomorrow to say it's a bad idea and it's unconstitutional and it contradicts everything, but I think
maybe another one for people who have just been censored recently, and maybe they can show their screenshots and show some evidence. Say, listen, I'm just a regular guy, and I'm getting censored, and they're shutting down my First Amendment rights.
Yeah. And so 1144 is being heard tomorrow.
1144, 2 o'clock tomorrow. So if you want to testify against social media censorship and testify in favor of this bill, show up tomorrow at 2 o'clock.
Yep. Or at the very least, again, as always. You can't be mad at your legislators for voting how they vote if you didn't let them know how they should vote.
Be involved.
Let's go to bill number 3, final bill from
Okay.
Representative Kading, House Bill 1164. This one is a little bit different than the free speech ones we've been talking about. Deals with the Attorney General and executive orders. Tell us about your bill.
So 1164 also heard tomorrow. All three of these bills will be heard tomorrow. And what this bill does is essentially say presidential executive orders that infringe upon the rights of persons in North Dakota, and this includes companies. A company in North Dakota is a person. But if these executive orders infringe upon rights and they're within these 6 different categories, then we're not going to use North Dakota money to enforce it. And, I think the fundamental reason why I brought this bill forward is simply because, the federal government is a huge mess. And I'm not saying it as a Democrat thing or a Republican thing.
Yep.
I don't care what party, it's a mess out there. And I believe in states' rights, and the more local we can keep decisions to the state, the better off we're going to be.
Amen.
And that's the reason for this bill.
Amen.
Yeah, I 100% am backing you on this. States' rights, 10th Amendment is where it's at. The federal government is all but lost at this point, and we have to do what we can as states. And exactly what you said, if the federal government is going beyond what it ought to do, the very least we can do is to say we are not going to expend state resources to enforce something that we clearly disagree with, not just based on an opinion or that we hold, but based on the Constitution.
Yep. In North Dakota, we have to protect ourselves from big government as many ways and as many times as we can.
States' rights, that's one of the core reasons I actually got involved in politics, is because I believed in states' rights and believe that's one of the few ways we can keep our republic in good working order.
Well, that is a good impetus for somebody else to want to get into politics right there. If you feel that strongly about it, you could do what Tom did and run for the legislature. I think it's
Tom,
a great idea.
You've got a fantastic philosophy. I think you are doing an amazing job. I'm so happy you're in the legislature. I'm so happy to call you my friend. Keep working, man. I'm proud of you.
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate it.
You bet.
Same to you.
All right, so folks, we are going to be back with brain food. We have to say goodbye to Tom, but we've got some interesting stuff for your brain. Stick with us. We'll be back shortly.
Howdy, folks. It's a Canline Cafe. I reckon it's time you're due for a hearty meal. So saddle up for the day with one of our Hey Boss and Breakfast homemade soups. Fill your grill at our salad bar. Sink your teeth into our famous Canline burger and barbecue ribs. Top it off with spur rattling pie with a calm roll that's sure to put a smile on even the toughest outlaws. Shake the dirt off the boots each night and warm up with the gang. Tell them about it, Stacy.
I can't wait to see you at the county line.
Hi, I'm Dennis Haugen, along with my sons Andy and Mike, and we're showing our support for wind energy in North Dakota.
Wind energy has provided farmers like us with a steady stream of income that's not tied to the weather like crops and cattle are.
Another bonus is that wind farm owners are required to maintain the roads leading up to the turbines. Because of that, oftentimes these roads are the best in the county. Wind energy is good for landowners, it's good for the land, it's good for our economy, and it's good for North Dakota.
Capital City Restaurant Supply is your one-stop shop for quality restaurant products for the large to small kitchens. Commercial grade restaurant and bar supplies, limb game processing equipment, refrigeration, dinnerware, and smallware. We sell everything including the kitchen sink for trusted manufacturers for the chef and all of us. Open to the public since 1971, we are veteran owned and North Dakota proud. Let us take care of your restaurant and home kitchen needs today by visiting us at 1414 Interstate Loop in Bismarck or on the web at capitalcityrestaurantsupply.com.
My wife was diagnosed with early stage Alzheimer's. We talked about it and we kind of decided we'd be a little bit proactive and try to start making provisions. So we started looking here, and Eventide worked out to be pretty much the perfect answer. I guess I didn't expect it to be so nice. The staff here are terrific. We enjoy it.
The professionals at Superior Glass provide residential and commercial glass installation and repair services in central and western North Dakota. Superior Glass is your source for stained glass projects, mirrors, windows, touchless and automated entry solutions. Stop by and see us at 3323 East Broadway in Bismarck or call us at 701-258-5600. Superior Glass, where you get superior service for less. Bye for now.
Now is the best time to plan for your 2021 farm equipment needs. North Dakota-based Summers Manufacturing is currently offering early order savings. Take advantage of big savings on North America's broadest tillage line, including the Super Kohler Samurai and the innovative VRT Renegade, as well as the best built, best backed land rollers in the industry. Talk to your Summers dealer today or go to summersmfg.com to learn more about early order savings available on all Summers equipment.
We are back. So are you. Welcome back to No Apologies on Beck.
You got to come back. Okay.
It's time for brain food.
We love doing brain food. It's just for those of you who have never seen the show before, it is our glorified trivia.
Everybody's seen
We take words, huh?
I think everyone has seen the show. But anyway.
All right, there could be new people. There
Okay.
could be new people. So what we do is we each pick 2 words or phrases or people or information about something or other, and then we give you information about it and educate you. It is food for your brain. So, okay.
It is.
So,
in the old magazines I would get from Reason, they called it bric-a-brac.
oh,
Yeah.
great. We should have taken, well, we'd get in trouble if we take
No,
that. I
brain
guess.
food is
Okay,
brain
so
food
my
words.
very first one today is the state motto. And I don't know if everyone knows what the state motto is, but you're going to see what the state motto is. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about the state motto for North Dakota. It's liberty and union, now and forever, one and inseparable. You get the idea that union is a big thing in this. What's great about this is that North Dakota's official state motto was adopted as an element of its official seal. The following information is excerpted from the North Dakota Constitution, Article 9, Section 2. The following described seal is hereby declared to be and hereby constituted the Great Seal of the State of North Dakota, to wit, a tree, the open field, the trunk of which is surrounded by 3 bundles of wheat, on the right a plow, anvil, and sledge, on the left a bow crossed with 3 arrows, and an Indian on horseback pursuing buffalo toward the setting sun. And then, of course, you see on the Great Seal, Liberty and Union, now and forever, one and inseparable, right in the black above the stars there, too. So I thought I would just share that with you so that you all know the state motto, Liberty and Union.
Is it wrong for me to say I'm not a fan of our state seal?
No, it's not wrong, but that's what the
It
people
seems
in
like a
1889 chose, so there
It's
you
like
have it.
a mishmash of things.
Mhm.
Why 3 arrows in a bow? Do you know?
I can
don't.
look.
Okay, well, you're looking it up.
Horseback,
Oh, wait,
it
3.
doesn't say.
And there was 3 shocks of wheat.
Mm-hmm. Well, Liberty and Union, now and forever, one and inseparable. Again, 3 different
3
phrases. So
I'm seeing a theme
a
of
theme
3.
of 3 for some reason.
wonder
Yeah,
if the
they don't
Masons are
give
behind
they don't give it in the general provisions, so I don't have the
It's
explanation.
probably the Illuminati.
It's okay.
So
So your brain food word.
Also, I feel like I could have drawn the state seal.
Oh, I do not think that is a good thing to say.
Don't you?
Because now somebody's going to want you to do that. So.
Well, I mean, I don't. Okay, all right, all right. My thing is Amendment number 14, Section 3. No person shall hold any office who shall have engaged in insurrection. So just a little bit more. Let's read more of that. No person shall be a senator or representative in Congress or elector of president or vice president or hold any office, civil or military, under the United States or under any state who, having previously taken an oath as a member of Congress or as an officer of the United States or as a member of any state legislature or as an executive or judicial officer of any state to support the Constitution of the United States, shall have engaged in insurrection or rebellion against the same, or given aid or comfort to the enemies thereof, so on and so forth. So the thing about this is, you know,
have you noticed the word that's
phrase.
been? I've been hearing that in the news.
Yes.
Funny that we should hear that.
I don't know the last time I've heard mainstream media use the term insurrection.
But they have parroted it and parroted it recently.
And there's a reason, folks. There's a reason they are using the word insurrection, not a riot.
Not a breaching of the Capitol.
An insurrection.
An insurrection.
And because from that point, if you can buy into the idea of insurrection, you now have a basis. You now have a standing to remove and or prevent people from taking office, including President Donald Trump, should he want to run for re-election in 2024.
So that's why you're hearing that word all the time. That's very prescient.
It is indeed.
I'm trying to get
All right.
another good word for you. Okay, so this second part, I started with the state motto, and then I thought, I'm going to see what other state things people may not know. A lot of people know the state meadowlark. I mean, the meadowlark is the bird, and the prairie rose, the wild prairie rose, is the flower of the state. But many of you probably do not know this next word. This next word is Hippodamia convergens.
This is interesting. Before you tell me about it,
okay.
Hippo
Yep.
would be, I believe, Greek for
Okay.
horse.
Force?
Horse.
Oh,
for
horse.
For horse. as
Okay.
in-
Okay, got it.
And convergence, you had a vocabulary word the other day, which was divergent.
Right.
No, was it? Yeah.
Yeah, divergent. Yep.
Divergent.
So this
and
is
this
converging.
is convergent, coming
Okay.
together. So
Coming together horse?
a horse, damia, and damia means a transvestite dancer. What are those called? No.
What?
That one I could be wrong about.
Oh.
Dame.
Okay.
The dame.
Not.
So anyway, it's a converging horse.
Okay.
Go ahead. Tell me what it is.
No. Hippodamia convergens is our state insect. We have a state insect. Not only do we have a state insect, but come to find out that there are other states that have the same insect as their state insect. So it is in New York, North Dakota, Ohio, Massachusetts, New Hampshire, and Tennessee. And it's the state bug of Delaware, and it's a ladybug. That's what it is.
It's a state bug of Delaware, too?
It's also the state, they have a state bug, the rest of us have a state insect. I know.
Interesting.
Yeah,
Because
so-
a bug could be a spider.
Right.
Which is an arachnid, not an insect.
So we have a state bug, and our state insect is Hippodamia convergens, the ladybug. Did you know that the ladybug was our state? I had no idea that the ladybug was our state.
I did, but I didn't know that the genus and species of a ladybug was Hippodamia convert. Also, drag queen. That was what I
okay.
couldn't think of.
Okay.
Transvestite dancer.
Thank you.
Drag queen.
It has nothing to do with
Sometimes
that, please.
things
Go on, please.
are
do.
difficult for me. All right.
All right. All right.
Article 5.
Ooh, that's a good
Convention
one.
of States.
Oh. That's in the news recently again. I've been seeing that popping up a little bit.
Yes. So in Article 5, Convention of the States, this is different than what people say is a CONCON, which is a constitutional convention where you'd say, hey, let's start over for the United States. This is an Article 5 convention, which means that you go there for a specific purpose to look at an amendment. Or amendments. There are two that have been bandied about for a long time. One especially has been long, and that is balancing the budget. And that came close quite a while back. And can you imagine if we had passed an amendment to the Constitution that said we had to balance the budget back in the
Right?
80s when it was, oh my
can you
Lord, we
imagine?
would be in better shape.
We would.
Yes.
Wow. No debt.
The other one is for term limits. That's one that's very, very popular for term limits. If you take a look, we've got a graphic of a map of the United States. And North Dakota is one that has passed a Convention of States resolution. There are a lot of people, this is worth another segment or two all by itself, but I will tell you just a little bit of trivia, and that is that there was a simulation of a Convention of States. It occurred in 2016. Each state was allowed to have 3 delegates that went to the simulated Convention of States. I was one of them.
Cool.
Representative Lauser, Representative Casper were the other 2. We learned so much. I have a lot of comments about what that might look like and why I may or may not be for some of these amendments that we're looking at.
Oh, interesting.
We'll have to hit that again sometime.
Yeah, I think so. But I think that is a great little Article 5, Convention of States. Now you know.
Yes,
Brain food.
absolutely.
Okay. Next time when you see us on this program, we will be talking constitutional carry and much, much more.
Yep. Next on Beck, it's No Filter with Debbie. See you tomorrow.